Hello, and welcome to Fairy Tales from Around the World Storytime. I'm Miss Katie. Today we are going to be reading a retelling of the classic fairy tale Hansel and Gretel. This one is by the same name, but it has a little bit of a twist to it, which I'm sure you'll notice right away. This is written by Bethan Woolvin. Hansel and Gretel. Deep in the forest, in a home made entirely out of gingerbread, there lived a witch named Willow. Willow wasn't like most witches. She only used good magic because Willow was a good witch. One day, while she was out in the forest, Willow spotted a trail of breadcrumbs. She decided to follow it. At the end of the trail, she found two children. "We're Hansel and Gretel," one said. "What do you want?" the other one demanded. "Well, I'm worried these breadcrumbs might lead birds and mice to my gingerbread home," said Willow. "Please, could you help me clean them up?" Hansel and Gretel didn't like this idea, so they left. Willow tidied up on her own, but Willow did not get angry because she was a good witch. When she arrived home, Willow couldn't believe her eyes. "Hansel, Gretel, please don't eat my house." "It's so tasty," Gretel said through a mouthful of gingerbread. But Willow did not get angry because Willow was a good witch. Hansel and Gretel must be very hungry, she thought, so she invited them in for dinner. While Hansel and Gretel made themselves at home, Willow used her best and most delicious spells to cook a feast for all of them. "Please save some for me," said Willow. When Willow got to the table, however, she found that Hansel and Gretel had already gobbled up all of the food. It wasn't long before Willow had more to worry about than her rumbling tummy. Hansel and Gretel found Willow's spells and wands and began to play with them. "Hansel, Gretel, please be careful with my magic things," she cried. Hansel and Gretel did not listen to Willow. The magic grew and grew and grew. Hansel and Gretel wanted the house all to themselves, so they decided to get rid of Willow. Gretel pushed Willow into the oven, and the naughty twins carried on, wreaking havoc in her home, until it was bursting with magic. Willow's home collapsed. It was only made out of gingerbread after all. And this time, Willow did get angry. Because, as it turns out, Willow wasn't always a good witch. The end. Thank you so much for joining us for this week's Fairy Tales from Around the World Storytime. We hope you keep up the great progress you've been making through summer reading thus far, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.